Hey everyone, summer's heating up, which means I have no more free time. It's gone. It's evaporated. But I've got a brief moment here to shoot a video on removing RF from our vehicle system. Vehicles have a lot of problem with RFI, RF interference, and my vehicle's no exception. There's an engine running, there's an alternator running, there's fans blowing, and all this generates RF, which is going to screw up our digital signal. So we're going to clean it up with a few tools. First being a USB line isolator. This thing's a little bit fat, so it blocks access to the other USB devices that I need to plug in, so we'll step it off here with this USB extension. Second thing I'm going to use is a Mix 31 ferrite. Not all ferrites are made the same. If you go on Amazon and just type in ferrite and buy some, they're probably not going to block out interference in the frequencies that you want for your digital system. I'm using VHF, so the Mix 31 blocks out RF in between about 1 megahertz and 300 megahertz, right in the range that I need. It might not completely block it out, but we're going to see what we can do to eliminate it to the lowest possible level and clean up the signal as best we can. So here's what I'm talking about. Right now I have the truck off and I have the radio off, and so the FL Digi waterfall here is just showing us what our noise floor looks like, and already it's very noisy. You can tell there's a bad line above 1500 here. There's tons of green down low. We need to clean this up, and you'll see this even gets worse when I turn the truck on. In fact, take a look over here at our squelch levels. FSQ will not even let us transmit right now because it thinks somebody else is using the frequency. That's how bad this interference is. This really sucks when I start the truck up from cold, because it'll idle higher to get warmed up and it'll just keep that interference right here. You can see right now my truck, the RPMs have settled down to about 500 and it's brought that interference out. But look what happens when I increase. I'm going to blip the throttle a little bit here. Might even be able to feather it right there in the middle for you. Yeah, this is bad. So I'm assuming this is alternator wind. Now, I will save you a little bit of time. I spent some time off camera here clipping ferrites onto cables coming from the alternator, onto power cables, onto the antenna feed line. That didn't do anything, but check out this magical thing that happened once I put the USB line isolator on. Okay, I've closed FL Digi. I plugged in the line isolator in line with the DigiRig. Let's reopen FL Digi and you can see it's pretty much gone. I don't personally see any interference at all. Over here, looks like it's seeing something. Obviously the squelch is a little bit high. I'm going to rev my engine a bit, see if we can see anything. Nothing. Let me turn the AC on. I don't see any interference there either. So, I'll turn the radio on. We'll try transmitting. Obviously it's going out well. I'll go ahead and rev the engine while I'm doing that, just see if I can cause any problems. Right, the signal's returning. I can see a little bit of interference down here. I'll rev the engine and see what that does. So it's hearing something. I'm able to affect that, but it doesn't appear to be causing us any issues. So these line isolators cost $20 or less. I got mine from digirig.net. I'll put a link in the show notes where you can buy that straight from DigiRig. You can also find a number of various models on Amazon. I don't know how much it matters which type you get. I just know the one from digirig.net worked great for my system. I am astonished by how well that $20 part cleaned up the noise on my vehicle's radio system. But I won't declare victory quite yet. Although I was very pleased with the results, time will tell how successful I actually was. I'm going to be looking over the next few days for anything that crashes the software or freezes the waterfall in place. Oftentimes this can be attributed to a bad cable or a loose connection somewhere. So I'm going to take electric tape and secure all those connections in place. And I'll also reboot the Raspberry Pi just so we're starting from a clean slate. Join me in the next episode of The Terminal Element, and I'll let you know how it goes.